How you guys doing today? I just wanted to, introduce myself. My name is Darren Garrick, and I'm the new defensive back coach here at Texas A&M Commerce. I've been coaching football for 5 years. I did 2 at the high school ranks out in Virginia, and then I just finished up my master's degree at East Central University in Ada, Oklahoma. And the video I'm going to show you guys today are my DB drill tape from last season, mixed with the game and practice cut-ups and just different types of situations and all types of different things for the defensive backs to be in: pass breakups, interceptions, press coverage, off coverage, catch technique. So this is what I'll be presenting to you guys today, and I just want to go through the video as we speak right now. And I've played my college football at West Texas A&M for 2 years. Went the junior college route at Lackawanna College in Pennsylvania, and I played my high school football in state of Virginia. So I just want to be able to show you guys what I've made and finished up last fall and last season, and just show you kind of guys walk through what I do on my drill tape and how I teach my DBs in the progression. So right here we got buzz feet. This is what I would do to start off the day of every day of practice, just to kind of get their feet activated and get their feet moving. So that is the first thing we do before we even stretch, as far as with the DBs and everything. As you can see here on film, this is a great warm-up we do, go back and forth, and that's how we start our day to just begin practice every single day. So it's one of those things we do every single day, and it's always a good thing just to get them warmed up. And then what we do right here, which I actually got from a Alabama camp at Nick Saban, just a 3-yard stick, and just pedal for about 3 yards and just sticking left and sticking right. And on film right here, I think I only go to the right, but we always go both ways to just kind of more get their feet going and everything. And then we jump right into game cut-ups, and this is where we stop in the quick game. And the conferences I've coached in and played in, it's always about the quick game now with the spread offenses and what they do and try to stretch you vertically, sideways, and stuff like that. Stopping the quick game is very important to a defense now, because they catch it and run, they go for 6, and it hurts the defense real fast. So, and as you can see from this cut up and the progression is just reading the 3-step, reading the receiver, if he's bubbling out or he's just doing a quick out and throwing the ball. So it's one of those deals where we just kind of read the quarterback and sometimes read 2 to 1 and just kind of go through the whole progression as far as what we do in the back end. And the stuff you see on film right now is a mix from 2012-2013 season. We ran a 3-4 in 2012 and ran a 4-2-5 in 2013. So I've been kind of around a little bit of both defenses, and I played under a 4-2-5. So, and as you can see, it's an option team, and that was a good break what the DB just had. So, and we do a lot of things in the back end. Sometimes I get people say I have too many techniques, but I think there's different techniques to go in different coverages. So I think it's always good to have a lot of stuff in your toolbox, as you can see. And it's just always good to be able to do different things more than just one thing. So as you can see on film here, we do a little shuffle technique, we do a little pedal technique, and but I think the thing that helped me out as far as defensive backs is the DBs that I just coached last fall were all driving to the ball. They were I call it a sense of urgency every snap, so they were getting after it, and I take pride in that when coaching defensive backs. And as you can see here, the free safety was an All-American last year. So we just kind of we ran a lot of cover 3, kind of what the Seahawks do, from what I've seen. I haven't ran so much cover 3 in my life until last season, but it can be real effective, and it can really work if everything goes right. And as you can see, it's just some cut-ups, just protecting the middle of the field, and I think that's very important when you play a one-high look, especially in the run game. If he comes out, you got to be able to play inside out, and you got to be able to tack hard, and be able to be a good tackler. And the different section right here is all the interceptions for the last 2 years in the Great American Conference. We led the turnovers. We created the most turnovers this past 2 seasons, so that's always I take pride in that as far as turning over, playing the ball, and I actually got that from Deion Sanders working his camp for a month. out in Texas is just, defensive backs be able to play the ball these days. Sometimes guys don't display the ball skills that they need, and I think nowadays with all the vertical passing game and all that, like we talked about earlier, is playing the ball is very important. After you read your keys and after you play your man, the next thing is creating turnovers and playing the ball and doing different things right here. And that cut up right there was a cover 3 concept versus a bunch set against Northwest Missouri State, which is they win the national championship. It seems to be every single year. So that's a great team. We won up against game 1 2 years ago. We lost the game, but we fought hard. This is cover 1 right here, press man across the board, and the free safety makes a play pretty much outside the numbers, which is a really unique thing. And normally you just cover numbers and numbers, so that's always a good thing. And then what I did different this year than the drill tape before is I like to mix in practice cut up just to kind of, it's not just all game. In order to get to the game, you got to actually have good cut ups and good film on practice too. So I think that's very important. And I still do that with the new team I got now, just in spring ball. I'm doing all the cut ups of the spring. And I think that's just very important. And the one we got right here is practice drills. And in order to have good ball skills, you need to practice ball skills. So I do a lot of that pretty much every single day. And even every drill I do, it seems to have a ball in it. I just think that's important because sometimes DBs always get ripped for not, having ball skills anyway. So I just want to help and improve that by practicing every single day. As you can see it right now, it's just straight down the line. Either I'll start off with this, or I might end up in it. We'll do a pre-practice or do a post-practice, kind of just depending on how the day goes, what kind of drills I want to do that day. Then right here we got angle, so they just running the 45 angle high, and as you can see, everybody's catching the ball with their hands and just looking it in. And I think that's very important. You got to catch it like a DB sometimes, and got to catch it with your hands. So that's always a good thing. As far as my main teaching points of aggression are eyes, technique, and effort. I think those are the 3 things that, well, if you have all those, you'll be a good DB, or you'll at least be a DB, even if you don't have as much talent as somebody else. You'll still be able to play and compete and make a lot of plays and being able to help your football team out with those things. Eyes is the most important, obviously, but technique is the second. Tall, short, doesn't matter height, weight, but technique is very important. So right here we got in phase, out phase, which I think is very important. And I like to start off this every day when pre-practice is just to get warmed up and, being in phase, looking back at the ball, then playing the ball. And then after that, you'll see we go into out of phase, which, obviously you can't look back for the ball. And I think that's where a lot of the eyes and DBs get beat, is when they're out of phase. They always want to look back for the ball. I just tell the guys, bottom line, the ball is never coming to you, so don't expect it just to come right to you. And I think you got to work for it. And right here, it's just the out of phase, like I was talking about, is just running to his hip and playing the hands, timing it out. Sometimes I think it's even hard right now to play defensive back with all the rules and all the changes, and everything, can't touch him, can't do anything these days. But for the most part, if you play the hands, if they catch it, just rip the ball right out of his hands. So I think that's always a good technique to have that goes along with it. And then as you can see, we blend it right back into interceptions as far as, the pass breakups and ball drill, so it all equals right into the game, and that's what I like to show. That was cover 2 right there with the free safety. Then we got right here cover 3 concept with the shuffle technique at the bottom. Sees the quarterback throw it, tips up, intercept it, and it just runs full speed and gets it after that. So it always helps when you have really good players, and it makes it easier to coach, actually, when you got good players. That's I guess in the college game, the beauty of recruiting, you get to pick who you want. So, it's just always a good thing. And another interception right there. And this is a 2-man concept. So, the safety's reading 2 to 1 or 1 to 2, just depending on exactly what you feel is the best, for that game or for that season. Or for that thing, I did 2 to 1, and I also did 1 to 2, reading and release of 1. So it just really all depends. That was just a tip interception right there. And you can see on film, sometimes we get a lot of interceptions based off tip ball, so that's always a good thing, just, eye coordination and everything going along with it. that interception right there sealed the game. So that was obviously important right there. And what I like to do through the season, I think is the best way is to always have, after each practice or after each game, pretty much do your cut-ups right after that's done because it's fresh in your mind. You get to put it in a folder and you get to have everything right there on you instead of going back at the end of the season and then getting it and it takes forever to go find it. And that's what I actually brought here to, A&M Commerce is just is bringing that, having your own stuff, teach tape and everything and your progressions to have it right there. After practice, so I think I brought that to the staff too, as far as just putting everything together. And now we got the Catch Man concept, which Exo Labs wrote on me about that, and it's one of those things where I actually did a lot of studying just on Darrelle Revis when he played for the Jets, and he had his one-on-ones catch technique on YouTube. So I just I like to study, I like to learn, and I just sat and just kind of tweaked his technique a little bit, and I just did it myself. So, pushing back to 8 or 9 yards, have their inside foot up and pretty much kind of flat foot reading it. If you feel vertical, it kind of just shuffles lightly back and just play the vertical route. So as you can see right here on the cut up and on the film, players are really, they like doing it. I just sold to them, you can move less and make more plays, and kids will love when you give them a technique and it works for them. They would love you for that. So the technique worked really well for us, at ECU, at East Central, and it worked great. We started off only doing it in cover 0, 6-7 man pressure, but come to find out we did it in cover 1, 2 man, so it worked a little bit in everything. And I kind of got to the point where they get to the 10 and in, and red zone and in, I didn't even press anymore because all they do is check fade, and I figured just put them in better shape defensively. So started playing the catch technique also too in the red zone, and it worked well for us. And I enjoyed the only adjustment I got to make here at this university, this conference. There's about 2 or 3 teams, and even our team included, that go vertical on you. So the catch technique, that's kind of its kryptonite right there, is that vertical route, because you won't be able to catch him into the route because he's going so fast off the line. But we kind of, I'm slightly adjusting it right now by just shuffling back and just turning and going. I mix in a little bit different things. Catch technique, you can see right there in the red zone, he gets interception. Catch technique, pedal. Press, I love the press, and you'll see later on the film is, I kind of get that Nick Saban mode again. It's just I don't like all the easy throws. I want them to work for it, so make them work at the line. So, and you can see Sherman, he does it too, and just the bigger corners everybody wants is, but if you're a shorter guy, you got to have perfect technique and good feet. So, what I like to preach in the progression as far as press is eyes, feet, then hands. So I just think that all that is, in order, and I just love it that way, eyes, feet, then hands, because if you throw your hands first, your feet go dead, and you got to be able to look at what you're seeing. So, I think all that plays a part into press coverage, which hopefully we'll see later on in the whole video, DB drill tape progression-wise. So just look at the catch technique right here. So as you can see, it's perfect. You're 1 yard inside leverage, and you can pretty much break on everything. It's pretty much, protecting the inside throw that go along with it. On the outside throws, you can just drive underneath it if you're going to make the play, or you can just drive over top of it, just depending on what's happening. But this is great hustle plays. You can tell the corner at the bottom, he's running full speed. He's a 2-year starter and just a good player. And one of the 3 things I talked about early on was, eyes, technique, and effort. And all this film right here is just the cut-ups you see is all effort right here. Just guys never giving up on the play, and and I think that's just what you need in the back end. Probably need on the whole team in general, but I think is very important. And this next over here is pass breakups. I just got a whole series of pass breakups. We always prefer interceptions, but at the end of the day, you got to be able to put your hands on the ball and making it hard for them. So this whole little sections is just all pass breakups. And right here, DB number 39, he does it with his wrong hand. He should be pass breaking with his left, or even could have intercepted it, but he still has he's still got the pass broken up. So that's always a good thing. And right there, the pass broken up again. So it's just a good section of seeing. Then you get to be able to get the drills that go along with the pass breakups, because you can't just go out there in a game and expect to break up a pass and never practice it or never drill it. So as you will see later on, you'll see what I'm talking about. In last season, we ran a lot of zone, coverages, but We did sprinkle in the man a little bit. We were kind of weaker in the linebackers and kind of nickel and dime and other things like that. So I just rather go zone and put them in spots and put them in areas. But as you can see, the pass breakup drill right here is just running straight at a 90, and the guy on the right's DB, and he's just taking his right hand out with his and just doing the pass breakup. So I think it's important to drill it. And I even got it from an old head coach that I just worked under. Is you need to be able to see drills that show up on game day. Those are the type of stuff that there's a reason why you drill it, so it shows up, so the players won't be new to it. And then it goes right back in the game film. So I blended it with a little bit of everything as far as, just like I said, practice, and blend it right in the game so you'll be able to see it so it matches. So the things I do match what it is in a game, and I think that's very important. To show to the kids also, and show to everybody. So last season we really didn't even pedal that much because we played catch, we played press, or we did zone. This year, for the different conferences, and we got some guys that can pedal, so I'm putting the pedal back in. So it's like I said, you got to be able to do different things in the back end, not just one thing. So we go back to a little bit of everything. And now this is the press coverage clip. I like to have the hands up, ready to go to war, like you just seen that guy right there in the picture. So I take pride in press coverage. I'm a big fan of press coverage. I know. You fight for the first 5 yards, and after that, you just got to turn and run and start reading the receiver. And I like to say after the 10 yards, which is the move area, after 10 yards, put your vision back up to the shoulders. Nowadays, you get so much back shoulder fade. That's probably the hardest route to stop is that back shoulder fade. But if his shoulder turns away from you, just turn into him and try to play the hands, or if you get a chance to play the ball also. So, but I do take pride in press coverage. And I think, a lot of guys excel in that if they're really good at, their feet and everything. So as you can see from the cut up, guys take pride in playing press coverage, and it really worked for us. And then as you can see, there's a little hole right there. But, like Sherman said and Dion says, it ain't really a pass interference until the ref calls it. So it's all right as long as you, tricks to the trade. Then right here, this is just kind of me showing an example of what I want in the footwork. And what I did right here was just, don't cross your feet over, kind of call it like, baby steps. You can call it a shuffle, you can call it a slide, you can call it a kick slap, and, it's really all the same. But at the end of the day, don't cross over your feet, get about a yard spacing and just pretty much shuffle. Try to stay square as long as you can, and then, have your eyes at the bottom of the numbers. Work your feet, then throw your hands. Offhand jam, you release to your right, left hand, release to your left, right hand. Sure, I can see we're just drilling it right here, going back and forth, and then as you can see after this, I'm going to give the receiver. He just goes one way, goes the other way, then he just gives a release what he wants to do. So as you can see from the footwork right here, it's very important. And then after you can't stay square no longer, after he gets outside of your cylinder, you just turn and run. Just turn and run, and you just play the coverage accordingly to that. As far as press coverage. So right here, this is where they go one way, go the other way, then they just release off them. Now his first step was a crossover, but nothing's always ever going to be perfect, but it's just the whole point fighting. So he did a lot better job right there with his first step, with the kick, slide, shuffle. Then you open and turn and run. I like that right there. So the same thing, we'll drill it again. It was very important to get these drills done on a daily basis so they can become second nature to them. It's a good pass breakup right there by the DB at the bottom, forcing an interception. And you want to make the receiver go, you want to make the receiver, release wide, either outside or release wide inside, and then along with this, voiceover, I attach my position manual. And what I did, I attached two different ones. I attached just the one without the coverages, and then I attached the one with our defensive coverages. I'm not sure exactly, which one's the best to look at, but I just wanted to be able to, present both of those to you guys, just to kind of show you a little bit. And pretty much as he's going down the field, squeeze his hip, and then play it. I always say look back late. So I think a lot of guys, that's where the eyes come in handy. Everybody wants to look back early, but if you don't look to where you're running to, you're gonna lose a step. You're gonna lose speed. You're gonna lose the man too. So that's why it's very important. At the end of the day, is look back late. It's more of a natural feeling. I mean, it's just kind of hard to exactly say when to look back, but you'll know when to look back or not. And we did a little press bail right there. We do that in cover 3 concepts, and sometimes we do it in zone concepts. So, and I like to mix it into the problem with, you want to be able to teach it. The press bail, you want to make sure it looks exactly like press coverage, and you don't want to look too much inside because offenses and receivers are going to know that you're going to press bail. So you always want to, make sure you kind of disguise a little bit. And right here we got a little off man, just normally 7 yards off, got divided rule depending on the coverage and everything. But just pedaling and keying his hips and then just probably playing with it right here. And off man's good to do a little mix up. You got to be able to play off man. I'm not the biggest fan of off man because sometimes they always can get an easy completion and easy everything, but you got to be able to do it. Sometimes off man is more needed than press man. But off man works really well if you got guys that can transition out of breaks in and out and got footwork and everything. So it goes along with it. I'm a big cover 2 guy. Now in the defense that that I'm working for now is combo coverages, but I love cover 2. That corner right there, that's just making a lot of the big plays. He's a cover 2 corner, but he can also play other things. But he just loves rerouting receivers and just loves staying square, shuffling his feet, and he did a great job for us. And I just love cover 2. Then we kind of mix it in there with the trap technique, which I think the NFL does too. And I've seen it's just it's more of a soft squat, pretty much sinking with number 1 until number 2 breaks out and he's driving on it, the quarterback throws it. So, I like to, like I said, mix in a couple different things that go along with it and everything. And I don't think I'm not tied to just one coverage, but, I like to do it, like I said earlier, and it's just a little bit of everything. So, but you can be more aggressive in cover 2 when you got the flat vertical. You can be a little bit more aggressive. So the cornerback, I guess you can say, technically has he can take more chances, I guess you can say. But and then what I do unique is I do the different techniques as you just seen right there in the one-on-one cut-up. I like to do the different techniques in the one-on-one, which is I'm not sure if a lot of people do, but I love doing it because it puts just the corner in different positions, because there's going to be a time out there where you're going to use a zone technique or use whatever in a one-on-one situation. So I like to mix it up there in the one-on-ones, and it's a little uncomfortable for the kids, but the best thing about it is if you try to make them uncomfortable during practice, they'll be comfortable during the game. So that pretty much ends my voiceover with the the DB drill tape, and I just got the job here at Texas A&M Commerce about 3 weeks ago, so I'm still in the process of moving and getting all my stuff together, and we already started spring practice already. We actually had our spring game last weekend, so we've already done most of it, and then we're just going to end it up with a few more practice right here. Right now the weather's bad, so we missed the practice yesterday, but we pretty much got some things wrapped up, and just getting the kids to buy in and just show them different techniques and coaching them up a little bit, and and I just I really love this internship, and I heard great things about it, and I put in for it this year, and hopefully I get it, and hopefully I'm blessed with the opportunity to learn from the guys before me, and the guys at the pro level, and I just heard so much great things about it, and I just I didn't start off being a coach. I kind of just stumbled onto it, and I've been loving it ever since. It's all about it's all about building and maintaining relationships, and that's including coaches and players. And I'm just want to learn. I just want to learn. I want to grow, and I'm just looking forward to being able to speak with you guys again. And I just appreciate the opportunity, and thank you for the email back, and I'll email you this along with the DB drill tape, which is on YouTube, and I did the voiceover, and I'll be able to send it you guys away. So I definitely appreciate it. Once again, this is Darren Garrigan, secondary coach at Texas A&M Commerce. In the video I just presented, voiceover was at East Central University, where I coached defensive backs for 2 years, in Ada, Oklahoma. So thank you for the opportunity, and hope to speak to you guys soon.